Welcome to Cord Cutting Today for November 18th, 2019. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now and give you my opinion on them. Now, this is my opinion. If you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read about them for yourself and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about them. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Huge thank you to everybody who does that because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, and hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. Well, let's get into it for today because there are so much news to cover. But first, don't forget we have an app available on iOS, Android, and the Amazon Fire tablet. If you could do me a huge favor, if you like what we do here, check out our app. It offers you all the stories we publish over at cordcuttersnews.com, much more than we could ever cover here on YouTube. So check that out and give us a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate it. It's a huge help in letting people discover about it. I'll put a link to it down below for our iOS, Android, and Amazon Fire tablet stores there. It's 100% free. There is an option to go ad-free where you could just pay to remove all ads off the site. But you don't need to. That's ad-free. You get options like offline reading and more. So check that out. If you like it, 5-star rating will be a huge help. All right, let's get into the news of the day because there's a lot to cover. Starting off with AT&T TV Now's price hike is going into effect tomorrow. Today is the last day to try AT&T TV Now for $50. If you wait to sign up until tomorrow, your price will be $65 for the basic package or $85 for the max package. Now, if you are a current subscriber, first to the grandfathered plans, you're going up $10 a month on your next bill on the 19th or after. So if your next bill is December 1st, you won't see the price hike until December 1st, for example. If you have the Plus or the Max package, your price is going up $15, again, on or after the 19th. So if your bill date was today or yesterday, you're kind of winning the lottery because your next price hike won't be until the 17th or 18th of December, for example. So keep that in mind. Next bill was when this price hike will take effect for you. So AT&T TV Now, Hulu are both raising the price, but there's still many good options out there, including YouTube, Sling, new ones like VidGo enter the market. Philo and Friendly is very cheap packages out there as options, but we're seeing a growing trend here. And this comes from a Moffett-Nathanson report on cord cutting that they published last week that says more and more cord cutters are skipping live TV streaming services, getting antennas, getting on-demand services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon's on-demand versions for Hulu. And so saying, hey, I don't need live TV. And there's a lot of truth in this. You could not possibly ever watch all the content cord cutting has available. I mean, just Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus, for example, it's probably a lifetime of content. If you sit there and say, I want to watch every single show on this, assuming you're an average person watching a couple hours a day, that may be most of your life, just to be honest with you, depending on how old you are right now when you got left. But this is a trend I'm seeing. There's less than 10 million live TV subscribers. I've heard the number now has gone up to 7 or 8 million live TV streaming service subscribers to Hulu, Live TV, YouTube TV, PlayStation Vue still with them live, Sling TV, etc. But there's an estimated 30, 35 million, and I even think that number may be low. I'll get to that in a minute. Cord cutters out there who are not subscribed. So that means the majority of cord cutters are not subscribing to a live TV streaming service. So I'd love to know, do you subscribe to a live TV streaming service as a cord cutter, or are you happy with things like on-demand and maybe an antenna that way? I'm seeing that as a growing trend in the world of cord cutting. People saying, hey, I don't necessarily need live year-round. Maybe I get live TV for football, maybe I get it for Walking Dead because I can't wait, though I'm finding that to be less and less common. You know, sports and news are one of the few things people are still willing to pay for live on. But they're not necessarily rushing out there to say, hey, I want access to AMC year-round just to watch a lot of repeats. Because let's be honest, what's mostly on cable TV is repeats a majority of the time. So let me comment, let me know. one of the things I also find interesting here is we think there are 30 to 35 million American households that have cut the cord. But it could be a lot higher, and the reason that is the growth of homes hasn't been reflected in cable. So there's a lot more homes now than there were 10 years ago. A lot more apartments, a lot more home dwellers, and the like. And what we're seeing a lot is what I call the silent cord cutter. Hey, I'm in college, I have 4 roommates, and the 4 of us were splitting cable because 4 ways, that's like $30, it's not a bad deal. But I move out, I graduate college, I move out, and now I'm like, hey, you know, that $30 price, you know, when I'm actually paying the $130 or $140 or more for it, it's just not worth it to me. So I have to have my Netflix, I have to have a Hulu or whatever it is. I find most cable subscribers also have streaming. So that one cable cancel is really for new cord cutters, because the 4 different people all go out, they don't renew cable. So that's 4 new households out there without cable. You know, that's just one example of where, hey, people are living together, they split, and more. More and more common, I'm hearing stories about this. It's one of the main times I think people cut the cord, is when you go from living with a bunch of roommates to living on your own. And that is skewing, I think, these numbers a little bit. And that is supported when you look at the growth of new construction in America versus the growth of cable and live TV streaming services. It doesn't add up. Cable and live TV streaming services are still losing subscribers. There's more people living in single-family dwellings. It probably means there's more and more people just saying, hey, antennas, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and more is all I need. So let me know, are you one of the people like that? Did you cut the cord like that where you were living with somebody, you were splitting the bill, and you moved out and you said, hey, it's just not worth it for me? Leave me a comment, let me know. But I think there's a silent, growing majority of cord cutters out there who aren't registering on these surveys that say how many cord cutters, how many cable subscribers there are out there. For instance, I'm a phone never. I moved out when I got my first apartment, when I got my first house. I never had a home phone. I just never got it since I moved out from my parents' house way back when. So I'd love to know, is that you too? Are you kind of like me where you're like, hey, I just never had a home phone, or you just never had cable? How do you track that? How do you track somebody moving out of their parents' house for cord cutting? So let me know. All right, a lot of news here to cover, and we'll move a little quick here. But T-Mobile CEO is stepping down next year. John Legere has been the CEO of T-Mobile for a very long time. He's announced that on May 1st, 2020, the COO, Mike Sievert, I apologize, I have a last name no one can pronounce, so apology there, Mike, will become the new CEO of T-Mobile. So keep a close eye on that. It will be interesting to see what happens. T-Mobile TV has kind of vanished into the background when they were talking about their big plans post Sprint merger. T-Mobile TV was not a part of that. But Mike has been around for a long time. When they were talking about their plans post Sprint merger, he's been sitting right next to John. They seem to be on the same page with the future of T-Mobile post Sprint merger and the future of T-Mobile overall. So I wouldn't expect a dramatic change in how T-Mobile operates or looks in the weeks or years to come after a new CEO comes in. And T-Mobile was very clear to say, hey, this has been planned for a while. John has been preparing the team, preparing the company to move on. Something that's always really important. You have to really, when you're somebody major change in leadership at a big company like T-Mobile, it's more than just saying, hey, on Tuesday this is happening. So sounds like this was in the works for a while. And it'll be interesting to see what happens there with the merger. So next story up of the day. Pluto TV will remain free after the CBS and Viacom merger. Viacom was very clear during their third quarter earnings call, third quarter calendar, fourth quarter for Viacom, that Pluto TV remained free. I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about Pluto TV becoming a paid service now that Viacom owns them. And soon, with CBS and Viacom merging into a single company, people have been concerned that that would turn into a that would result in a paid version of Pluto TV. Now, Viacom said during their earnings call that free will remain a big part of their business. They're very committed to free. It's been very good for their ad business, very good for their company overall. and that they would Pluto TV would be leading that free effort there. Now they did say, hey, we do have paid services. We will have CBS All Access, BET Plus, for example, too. But they were very clear that they're going to continue to do their best to stay focused on free also. So let me know what you think of that. If you want to read some of the comments, I have a link to them down in the show notes down below from Viacom. Let me know. Viacom was very clear. We talked about this before. Like, hey, if I put a show on Pluto TV, it's almost like a free ad. We can put a lot of content on Pluto TV cheaply because we own all this back catalog in our Viacom deal. They also said something interesting. They said a lot of this deals with like CNN and Fox Sports and BBC and Discovery to bring content to Pluto TV is on a revenue sharing deal. So instead of paying big upfront to buy rights to back catalog of Doctor Who, the older episodes, they can say, hey, we'll give you a cut. We'll give you 70%, let's just say. We'll use Google Mail. 70% of the ads go to you. We'll keep 30%. And, you know, it's low risk for both sides, right? No one watches it. Doesn't cost anyone really anything. So I'd love to know what you think of this model. I'd love to know what you think of Viacom's plans for Pluto and how they're handling Pluto. Because a lot of it's too, like, hey, I'm playing a Bond marathon. Don't forget, new Bond movie coming out next year. That kind of stuff. So let me know what you think. All right, so there's been a lot of talk of Netflix losing a ton of subscribers now that Disney Plus has come out. And the Lightshed Partners, a new research group out there that recently formed from some very well-known people covering the world of cord cutting, came out on Friday with a report. They looked at the number of Google searches for canceling Netflix and canceling Disney Plus. They found four times as many searches for canceling Disney Plus as they did for Netflix. And actually, Netflix isn't even at its peak of searches for canceling Netflix over the last year. Earlier this year, it was even higher as of Friday. So I thought this was very interesting because there was a big thing like, oh, Netflix is doomed. Disney Plus is here. Watch, it's going to destroy Netflix. So far, that hasn't happened. Yeah, you know, there's always churn. There's always people leaving Netflix, people coming to Netflix. Could Netflix lose some subscribers? Yep. But looking at this, it may not be the massive exodus of people out of Netflix that we expected. Now, on the Disney Plus side, we may be seeing a lot of people who took advantage of the 7-day free trial and said, hey, you know, this is great, it's fun, I watched a bunch of stuff, I'm just not sure I'm willing to pay for it. And that may be why the number of people canceling is so high, because there's rumored to be 10 million people on a free trial right now. Many of them will be ending tomorrow, so keep that in mind. All right, next story up. Speaking of Disney Plus, Disney is working to crack down on piracy, and they're hiring some new people to help monitor piracy as they continue their efforts to fight against piracy. With Disney going direct to consumer, no longer going to say, hey, we don't care so much about piracy because, hey, Comcast is paying us. It's really Comcast's issue, right? We got our money, rather Comcast gets the money from the end customers or not for many cases. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays off, because in the past, Disney just said, hey, you're guaranteeing us this amount of subscribers, even if you don't have that many subscribers. Anything over that is icing on, you know, the cake for them. They just get a little bit extra money. Disney now, with Disney Plus and other direct-to-consumer efforts, is saying, hey, we need to actually go out there and earn this from our subscribers. Go out there and earn, you know, keep piracy down so people want to pay for our service. Now, they've already been a member of the Alliance for Creative Community, whatever. ACE is the name of the company, which abbreviation I forgot real quick. But Disney's already been a part of several lawsuits to try to crack down on piracy, several lawsuits to try to crack down on services and devices that offer them. Now that they're hiring a new person to help monitor this and expand their anti-piracy team, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the weeks to months to years to come. What will Disney do next? I'd love to know what you think. What do you think of Disney's efforts to crack down on piracy? And do you think it'll be successful? Leave me a comment, let me know. And lastly, as cord cutting grows, Frontier Communications may soon go into bankruptcy. So we've been kind of waiting for a major player in the world of cable to go under or bankruptcy. There's been some talk of this for a while. And now Frontier is reportedly being considered in Chapter 11 to protect itself from creditors. It owes a lot of money in debt to creditors. They've been pushing for a reorganization. They've actually hired an outside firm to maybe even force bankruptcy on their own part. And now Frontier may consider their own bankruptcy. This could be the tip of the iceberg of companies going, smaller and mid-sized cable companies going into bankruptcy. The thing that worries me a little bit about this is, are we going to see Spectrum and Comcast and these big players come up and gobble up these smaller players and expand even more? We'll have to keep a close eye on this, but watch out. More and more mid-sized and small cable companies are struggling. Some of them are shutting down TV. Others seem to be moving into the idea that, hey, we can just declare bankruptcy, try to survive that way. So let me know what you think. All right, quick reminder, don't forget about our app, available for iOS, Android, and Fire tablets. Link in the show notes. Really appreciating 5-star reviews. You can give us huge help. And I'll be back tomorrow for more cord-cutting news, tips, tricks, and reviews. Let me know what you think of these stories. Stay warm. I hope you all take care.